My favorite Jewish archaeologist is a fellow by the name of Gabriel Barkay, Gabby to his friends. About a quarter century ago, he was on a dig, and he and his people were working their way through a bunch of rubble, and they found something of immense value. What it was a little metal cylinder on a chain. It was probably something that was worn around the neck of a small child or an infant. When they took a look at the artifact, they realized that there was a little scroll on the inside. Of course, it was very, very old, and they were scared if they tried to touch it, it would just disintegrate on them. But they took a chance, and it was a good thing they did. As they took the little scroll out of the metal cylinder and laid it out, they could see it was in a form of Hebrew that dated back to 600 BC, which at the time was the earliest fragment of any book of the Old Testament. And it was a series of verses from the Old Testament. In fact, it was a prayer. And as Barkay started to translate the prayer, a smile came to his face and a tear came to his eye. For you see, he recognized that what it was in that ancient Hebrew script, it was the Aaronic, the prayer of Aaron to bless the people. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May he make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May he look kindly towards you and give you his peace. And he realized that that was the very prayer that his father had prayed over him. It's our first reading always for the feast of Mary, the Mother of God, on January the 1st. And it probably was the same prayer that Joseph and Mary prayed over the child Jesus when he was in those swaddling clothes, laying in a manger. On this solemnity of Mary, the Mother of God, of she who is called blessed among women, let us look at Mary as the example, as the paradigm par excellence of prayer. Now, the Catechism of the Catholic Church lists 5 forms of prayer: blessing, petition, intercession, thanksgiving, and praise. Mary exemplifies all 5 forms of prayer. First, she is blessed and a blessing for others. And when you think about it, a blessing is a verbal expression of a wish that good will befall someone. The power of the blessing is to give life and happiness. So truly, blessings all come from God. The angel told her at the Annunciation that she was full of grace and highly favored by God. And why was Mary blessed? As Elizabeth tells her at the Visitation, Mary was blessed because she believed what the angel told her would come true. Isn't it interesting that there's no evidence in sacred scripture for Mary ever making a petition for herself, of asking God for anything for herself? She only wants to do God's will, her great fiat. Let it be done unto me according to your word, as she told that angel. However, she was a great intercessor. As example, the wedding feast of Cana, when she petitioned on behalf of that young couple at the wedding because they ran out of wine. You see, Jesus was not ready to begin his public ministry yet, and first told her no. But what did Mary do? She just went to the caterers and said, do whatever he tells you to do. And Jesus turned the water into wine, as John says, the first of his signs of who he really is. Because you see, when Mary asks her son can deny her nothing. And then there's the great prayer of thanksgiving and praise. We call it the Magnificat. In this prayer of thanksgiving and praise, Mary never extols her own virtues or greatness. Instead, she acclaims and rejoices in God. She recounts his saving acts, his mercy, his might, his feeding the poor, and a steadfast love in remembering his covenant with his people. For we do well always and everywhere to give thanks and praise to God. So the 5 forms of prayer: petition, intercession, thanksgiving, praise, and blessing. Mary, in her very life and in her very self, exemplifies all 5 forms of prayer. Now, as we come to the end of one calendar year and start another, we should follow Mary's example and thank God for the blessings that He's given us during this past year. Let us make a resolution that during this coming year that we will share what we have with others who are far less fortunate than ourselves. For this is a way of blessing God for blessing us. And I'd like to end with a few words from St. Ambrose, the man who converted and baptized St. Augustine of Hippo. He wrote these words: "Let Mary's soul be in each of us to proclaim the greatness of the Lord. Let her spirit be in each of us to rejoice in the Lord." And so, on this New Year's Day in our calendar, I wish everyone here a very happy New Year. Or maybe it would be better to say, I wish all of you that God bless you and keep you.